Max Verstappen sits ninth with just 12 points. Yet, inside Red Bull's Miami garage, the mood isn't defeat, it's calculation. The paddock thinks his fire is gone. They're wrong. While analysts debated his future, Verstappen was executing a plan no one saw coming. 72 hours before Miami, Red Bull tested a revised RB22 at Silverstone. Engineers call it the reset. It targets a critical flaw, a 10 to 20 kilogram weight penalty costing him 0.3 seconds per lap. This isn't a small tweak, it's a re-engineering of half the car in 5 weeks. This changes everything. Verstappen didn't rest. He raced at the Nürburgring. He tested at Silverstone. He sharpened his instincts while others slowed theirs. The question isn't whether he wants to stay, it's whether the car can finally let him show what he's prepared to do. To understand that answer, we must look at exactly what he did while the sport stood still. Verstappen didn't take a vacation. He entered a GT3 endurance race at the Nürburgring. This wasn't publicity. It was a calculated move to keep reflexes sharp under fatigue, mirroring the new 2026 energy management demands. Endurance racing requires managing energy and tyres for hours, not just laps. That discipline translates directly to F1's new lift and coast rules. Nico Rosberg notes, champions find edges others miss. Verstappen's effort was about sharpening the exact instinct the new rules demand. The 90-minute FP1 extension in Miami is critical for Red Bull. They need to validate upgrades in real conditions. But extra running can't fix a core flaw. The RB22's weight penalty has haunted it since Melbourne. And that is the real story behind the upgrade package arriving this weekend. The RB22 carries a secret burden. It is heavier than rivals by 10 to 20 kilograms. That weight eats tyres, slows direction changes, and makes the rear unpredictable under braking. This is a fundamental flaw, not a setup issue. The upgrade package targets weight above all else. Telemetry shows the RB22 loses most time in Sector 2, where weight penalizes direction changes by 0.15 seconds per corner. The new Macarena rear wing rotates over 100 degrees to cut drag on Miami's straight while preserving downforce. Side pods are reshaped to reduce surface area by 12%, saving weight without sacrificing cooling. But every gram removed creates a compromise. Red Bull has walked this tightrope in Milton Keynes for 5 weeks. Fixing weight helps, but it doesn't address the other factor. The rules themselves changed just before Miami. The FIA changed the rules again. Starting Friday in Miami, cars can deploy electrical power longer, reducing forced lift and coast moments. This favors Verstappen's instinct to attack every meter. In Suzuka, he lost 1.2 seconds due to energy constraints. The new rules could reclaim 0.8 seconds, narrowing Mercedes' 0.3 second power unit advantage to roughly 0.15 seconds. What no broadcast covered is this. The rule change was shaped by driver feedback, and Verstappen was the loudest voice demanding it. This shift rewards aggression, but aggression requires stability. A car struggling with rear balance cannot exploit full throttle windows. That brings us to the human element. The people who built Red Bull's championship culture are leaving, creating a challenge no rule change can fix. To understand why, we need to look at who left, and what they took with them. Gianpiero Lambiase, the voice in Verstappen's ear for 4 titles, is leaving for McLaren. This transfers institutional knowledge about how Max communicates under pressure. Chief designer Craig Skinner has also departed, taking deep understanding of the RB21's aero philosophy. What no broadcast covered is this. Late-night engineering sessions have been rescheduled because key decision-makers are gone, slowing iteration cycles by an estimated 18%. Verstappen's public criticism of the 2026 rules is unusual. It suggests frustration with the car's limitations, similar to Hamilton in 2022. Adrian Newey thrives under pressure, but his influence can't replace daily collaboration. McLaren now has Lambiase and the fastest car from 2025, threatening Red Bull's ability to close the gap with Norris and Piastri. Losing people hurts, but losing momentum hurts more. The sprint format reduces practice time, putting a premium on clear communication. If that channel is disrupted, even the best upgrades can miss their mark. That is why the circuit itself becomes the next critical factor. Verstappen has won twice in Miami and holds the lap record of 1:29.708, untouched for 3 years. This circuit rewards his skills, late braking, precision, and courage. His record here is the best on the grid, but history alone cannot overcome a car struggling with rear stability. The track's 19 corners across 5.4 kilometers demand directional changes that punish extra weight. Yet Verstappen's mastery of heavy braking zones at turns 1, 11 and 17 has always allowed him to gain time where rivals lose it. The sprint format reduces practice by 33%, putting a premium on driver instinct. Verstappen's average qualifying position in Miami was 2.3 and his average finish was 1.7. No other driver matches that consistency. History says he thrives here, but 2026 is not history. If the car allows him to drive as Miami demands, the gap could shrink fast. If upgrades fall short, even his mastery cannot manufacture pace. That brings us to the verdict Miami will deliver. Verstappen sits 60 points behind leader Kimi Antonelli. He must average second place while the rookie scores fifth or worse. This makes Miami a stress test for Red Bull's survival strategy. If he qualifies top 5 and finishes on the podium, the upgrades work. If he finishes 8th or lower, the deficit is structural. The data tells a different story than the headlines. Red Bull has only 16 constructors' points compared to Mercedes' 135. Even a victory brings them to roughly 41, leaving a massive gap. If the RB22 improves, it signals Newey's influence persists. If it remains sluggish, Red Bull faces a brutal choice: pour resources into fixing 2026 or pivot early to 2027. This weekend resolves the open loop. Verstappen's preparation created an edge, but edges only matter if the car allows them to be exploited. Miami will tell us if that edge is enough. If Miami upgrades work, Red Bull accelerates development, turning the championship into a multi-team battle. If they don't, they must decide whether to fix 2026 or pivot to 2027. Verstappen is signed through 2028, but champions don't stay where they can't compete. His mindset will be shaped by lap times in Florida, not contracts. This moment is a stress test for the entire sport under 2026 regulations. The era rewards adaptability. Teams that iterate fast will dominate. Red Bull's test is whether their culture can survive personnel turnover and a flawed car. Momentum in Formula One is fragile. Silence in the garage is often louder than noise in the media. In Formula One, silence is not absence, it is preparation. And when the lights go out in Miami, the truth will not be in the headlines, it will be in the lap times.